Last night, the great state of Mississippi elected its next governor in a landslide. This guy, Haley Barbour's lieutenant governor, Phil Bryant, beat the Democrat in the race by more than 20 points. So the Republican candidate, Phil Bryant, won in Mississippi last night. But according to Phil Bryant's own logic, Satan also won in Mississippi last night. Going into yesterday's election, this is how Phil Bryant described the vote on the Mississippi ballot measure that would have defined a fertilized egg as a person.
This is a battle of good and evil. The evil dark side that exists in this world is taking hold. And they're saying what we want you to be able to do is continue to extinguish innocent life. You see, if we could do that, Satan wins.
Satan wins. See, in the governor-elect allegory there, what Satan wants is for the personhood amendment, which would ban all abortions and hormonal birth control and some fertility treatments and open up miscarriages for criminal investigation. In his allegory there, it was Satan who wanted that to fail in Mississippi. As it turns out, that measure did fail in Mississippi by a huge margin, by double digits. So the state's next governor has the voters of Mississippi to thank both for his and for Satan's victories in last night's Mississippi election. And now he is faced with the unique challenge of governing an electorate that he has accused of voting for Satan by a 16-point margin, which could be awkward. The Mississippi electorate is a very conservative one. These fertilized egg as person measures have not done well elsewhere in the country, but the common wisdom that sprung up around the Mississippi one was that it would pass there because it's Mississippi. I mean, in 2001, Mississippi voted to keep the Confederate flag as a part of its state flag by a 28-point margin. In 2004, Mississippi voted to ban gay marriage by a 72-point margin. 72 points was the margin of victory. Every single county in Mississippi voted in favor of the gay marriage ban. That's a simple map. This year, in 2011, a public policy polling survey found only 40% of Mississippi Republicans think that interracial marriage should be legal. So Mississippi has a really radical, really conservative record when it comes to their opinions and their voting record on other Mississippians' rights. Mississippi is also a really anti-abortion state. Survey USA polled all 50 states on abortion rights in 2005. The national average was 56% of Americans identifying themselves as pro-choice. In Mississippi, though, you can drop that by nearly 20 points, please. Only 39% of Mississippians said they were pro-choice. So the ban abortion and birth control and IVF folks probably figured if they could get this fertilized egg is a person thing passed anywhere in the country, it would be in Mississippi. They got Mike Huckabee and Brett Favre's wife to be celebrity endorsers. They produced a bunch of really slick-looking ads. They had a ton of religious right money. But ultimately, a mostly grassroots opposition effort came together against the Personhood Amendment, and to the surprise of lots and lots and lots of people, this happened. The scrappy, mostly homegrown DIY opposition group defeated the Personhood bill in Mississippi by a ton. The No on Personhood folks won more than 60 of the state's 82 counties, including Haley Barbour's home county of Yazoo. Look at Mississippi last night compared to Mississippi in 2004 with the gay marriage vote. Which is not to say that this same electorate wouldn't vote to ban gay marriage again if given the chance. But the egg as person thing, really, really unpopular. Which is why today, suddenly, the Mitt Romney campaign is desperately flailing around trying to make it sound like Mitt Romney never supported something like this. When he told Mike Huckabee that he would have supported something like this in Massachusetts.
Would you have supported the constitutional amendment that would have established the definition of life at conception? Absolutely.
When we first saw that clip last month, among the staff here, we wondered if Mitt Romney really meant what he had just said. If he'd maybe somehow been tricked by Mike Huckabee. I mean, in this interview, Mike Huckabee had really given him the business about his totally communist, abortion-y, Romney care health reform. And so maybe Mitt Romney he just felt pressured. And he was just saying whatever Mike Huckabee wanted to hear. We kept asking Mr. Romney campaign if he really meant it, if he really was for a 100% no exceptions abortion ban and banning the pill and banning in vitro fertilization and making miscarriages a site for a criminal investigation. But the Romney campaign never returned our emails. Other people asked him about it too. Politico, for example, says he would not respond to them when they asked about it. But now that the Romney campaign realizes that this personhood thing is really unpopular, so unpopular that it lost in a landslide even in uber-conservative Mississippi, the Romney campaign now, today, telling Politico that Mr. Romney is being falsely characterized as supporting the Mississippi bill. See, clear as day. He doesn't support that thing that everybody hates. He just said he would support it absolutely. Don't you see the difference? Joining us now is Terry O'Neill, president of the National Organization for Women. Terry, I know you spent last night refreshing your browser every 5 seconds for election returns, so thanks for staying up to be here tonight.
Thank you, Rachel. It's great to be here.
Do you have an opinion about why Mitt Romney cannot make up his mind about personhood?
You know, I don't understand it. And I'm really disturbed by his suggestion that this should be thrown out to the states and allow the states to make a decision. The last time I checked, a woman's life is a life worth saving. And you are just as much worth saving if you live in the state of Mississippi as if you live in the state of New York or New Jersey. So I don't know where he's coming from with let's let the states decide when a woman can actually take steps to protect her own health and when she can't.
The thing is, though, that in this case, it was Mississippi trying to decide as a state. Mitt Romney said that he would absolutely support something like that. Now that Mississippi has voted no for it, he says, oh, no, don't say I was in favor. Is there a secret anti-abortion language by which what he's doing is making sense in some level? Is this one of those things where there's jargon within the anti-abortion movement that might make this a consistent position, or is he just changing his mind about what he's for?
You know, I think he's just changing his mind about what he's for, but it was very interesting to me that the Catholic bishops did not support the Mississippi Personhood Amendment, and in fact, Phyllis Schlafly's Eagle Forum didn't support it either. And this thing has come up in Colorado. We've beaten it back twice in Colorado, but when it comes up in other places when it's proposed, it's very often couched in the way that Mike Huckabee couched it, which was that life begins at conception. A conception is actually a lot more kind of fuzzy term. I looked that up on a medical dictionary online, and on the same website I saw one definition that said conception is fertilization of an egg, and then on that very same website it said, well, conception is implantation on the uterine wall. And hormonal birth control works to prevent implantation. So on the second definition, there is no conception. On the first definition, there would be conception. And I think that there's this debate going on within the right wing, not only about what conception means. I think there is that debate, and it's a religious and philosophical debate. But I think there's also a debate going on inside the right wing about what is the best way, frankly, to raise money on this issue and to march in a very solid and predictable way towards overturning Roe versus Wade.
Well, we have seen, I think we've seen sort of parallel but purportedly separate movement against abortion rights and against access to contraception. Access to contraception is becoming a much more open battlefield for the right in the past year or two. I mean, we have a Republican presidential candidate, Rick Santorum, who is openly campaigning against contraception. We've had House Republicans in the past month convene hearings on trying to limit access to contraception through health insurance regulations. We've got in Wisconsin at a special jobs-related session, the special session of the legislature, Wisconsin Republicans voted to ban all discussion of contraception in Wisconsin schools. I'm not exactly sure what that's going to do for jobs. Are we seeing something that was sort of a proxy fight for a long time really become a frontline war in reproductive rights politics?
You know, I think we are, and I think the good news from my point of view is that the mask has really been ripped away from these right-wing organizations that keep talking about abortion and keep talking as if all they want to do is ban abortion, when in fact they are interested in banning abortion and birth control. And, you know, all of this talk on the right wing in Washington, D.C. about defunding the Title X family planning clinics is not just abortion and birth control. It's also STD screenings. It's mammograms and cervical cancer screenings. It's the entire range of reproductive health care that women really need. I think what we're seeing now is the proof, and the Mississippi Personhood Amendment fight, I think, really revealed this, that what is at stake is whether women will have control over their own sexuality. This withholding health care from women who are sexually active is really, I think, motivated by this strange but persistent desire to control women having sex. And I like the fact that in Mississippi, the voters of Mississippi, who voted basically 60-40 for a very conservative Republican governor, they also voted virtually 60-40, well, 58-42, to say, no, we really do want women to have access to birth control, and we really do want women to be able to survive an ectopic pregnancy, which could kill them and could have killed them had this personhood initiative passed. But we really do want women to have the basic right to protect their own health. When faced squarely with that question, even the very conservative community in Mississippi said, no, they really want women to have access to health care.
Terry O'Neill, president of the National Organization for Women, thank you for your time tonight. It's nice to have you here. Thanks.
Thank you so much.